Hello, welcome to the channel. Just a quick video today with my prediction and a little preview of next week's fight between Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall. Right, Claressa Shields with a record of 12-0 as a professional with 2 knockouts. She's a double Olympic gold medalist. She won gold at London 2012 and Rio 2016. She's undisputed in 2 weight divisions as a pro, and to be honest, she's barely lost a round. The only loss in her amateur record was against the girl she is fighting on Saturday, Savannah Marshall. And to be honest, I hadn't seen the fight until the build up to this fight, when Sky Sports here in the UK decided it was a good idea to put it up on YouTube. And having watched the fight, I'm in a majority of people that believe that Shields actually won the fight from what I saw. So that's definitely been a talking point of this whole event, about how she's got the only win over in her career. But when you actually look at it, the win is a bit controversial, to be honest, and I can see why Shields isn't too bothered about facing Marshall again at this point in her career. It probably is the biggest fight. Well, it's definitely the biggest fight for both of them, in the middleweight division in particular. There isn't those marquee names that people know particularly, except for these 2 girls. They've sort of outshone the rest of the girls in the division. It tends to be the lighter weights where the bigger names are coming through. That being said, I do believe these are the 2 best girls in the division fighting each other, albeit one of them, to me anyway, seems like she is a level above the other, which we'll go on to shortly. They've got 3 common opponents between them: Femke Hermans, Sydney LeBlanc, and Hannah Rankin. 2 of those 3, Savannah Marshall actually stopped. Claressa Shields, as you can see by her record, isn't the biggest puncher in the world, but don't let that fool you. She's barely lost a round in her career. So she's definitely the better boxer of the 2, in my opinion. She easily outpointed all 3 of these girls in the contests. She didn't manage to stop any of them, but she outpointed them clearly. And to be honest, these girls are out their depth in terms of boxing ability, and that showed in the Marshall fights to a different extent, when Marshall has got a bit more of a dig behind her punch. She could get 2 of those 3 out of there, and to be honest, she probably would have got LeBlanc out of there if it wasn't a 4-round fight, but that was early on in her career. Hannah Rankin's gone on to do good things since, so that is a very good win on Savannah Marshall's record. I think it was a body shot, if I remember, that she managed to stop her with. But yeah, I do rate that win. That's probably her best win, in my opinion. The last knockout of Herman's was good, but there's just something when I watch Marshall fight, she just seems a bit too... She's got that awkward sort of style. She's suited in the Fury camp, to be honest, because they've all got this sort of awkward style, maybe under Peter Fury, a bit unorthodox. And Shields, this is the 2nd time she's ever fought outside of the US. The last 2 fights the last fight she had was in Cardiff, and she'll be fighting at the O2 in London on Saturday. In her last fight in Cardiff, I believe she looked very good against Kozin. She won every round of the fight on all of the judges' scorecards and on my scorecard as well. It didn't seem like she had any trouble at all. She's not got that power to, it didn't look like she was going to get her out there really, albeit I did think that she wanted to make a statement, but then, settled with the fact that she was going to stay in there and just easily outpoint her. She has got that bit of a thing when you watch her fight, that there's that something a bit special, which certain boxers have got, where you can tell that they're a level above anyone else that is in the division. And I do believe Shields has got a bit of that, and she's shown that throughout her career, to be honest. Marshall has got the clear power advantage. She's 12-0 as well, and of those 12 fights, she has got 10 stoppages. So a very good record, especially in female boxing, where you don't tend to see as many stoppages as you do in the male side of the sport. To be honest, stylistically, I believe this is a terrible matchup for Marshall. Shields has got the clear speed advantage and clear defensive advantage, and albeit Marshall will set a high pace, no doubt, and try to walk Shields down, I believe she's just going to be picked off multiple times throughout the fight with counter shots after counter shots. I don't expect it to be the best fight in the world, but I think Shields will probably nullify a lot of what Marshall does, and ultimately it'll be one of those where the scorecards probably won't reflect the reality of the fight. The reality of the fight will probably be that it'll be a one-sided fight in favour of Shields. The scorecards might be a bit generous towards Marshall, being in the UK, and every time she's going to land a punch on a glove or a shoulder, no doubt the crowd will get behind Marshall, and that may have some effect, like we tend to see on the scoring from the judges at ringside. Yeah, but my prediction ultimately is I believe it will be a relatively one-sided points decision in favour of Claressa Shields. Again, Marshall might have success at a few points in the fight, but ultimately it's 2-minute rounds and it's 10 rounds, and that goes very fast. And if she's not having success enough to put a dent in Shields, I just think Shields is going to run away with the points, being, in my opinion, a level above boxing wise than what Marshall is. On the undercard, which I feel might steal the whole show, is a fight between Mikaela Mayer and Alycia Baumgardner. Going off of recent performances, I'm just going to touch on this quickly. I would favour Mayer. Alycia didn't look too good in her last fight, and I think Mayer's coming off a career best performance in her last fight, to be honest. She's got a very exciting style as well, very aggressive. Alycia Baumgardner, her stock's probably gone up based on the performance that she put on with, let's face it, a highlight reel knockout of Terry Harper, where she was unconscious on her feet. And going off recent performances, Terry Harper's just stepped up 2 weight divisions and won a world title against Hannah Rankin. So that has that's certainly made Baumgardner look a bit more impressive, albeit that was a couple of fights ago now, and she didn't look too good in her last fight. She may have underestimated her opponent, who knows. But anyway, the way I see this fight going, I don't think stylistically it's too different from the main event. You've got an aggressive girl and you've got a boxer. I feel this is a lot closer matched. I think Baumgardner's not quite as defensively blessed as Claressa Shields, and Mayer is maybe a bit more effective with her aggression, and she's got faster hands than Savannah Marshall. So it's definitely a more evenly matched fight, in my opinion. I believe it goes the distance. I would favour Mikaela Mayer to outland Baumgardner over 10 rounds. I think it will be an entertaining fight. But my pick would be Mikaela Mayer to probably win 7-3 or something like that. If she does, she will hold 3 legitimate world titles. I'm quite looking forward to this after the recent disappointment in boxing, especially over here in the UK. It'll be nice to get a decent night of fights. I know there's a lot more fights in the undercard. I don't think there's anything really of note there other than it's an all-female card. A lot of the other girls are just fighting limited opposition from what I can see. But these 2 fights do stand out as the best in their divisions going against each other. Let's hope we don't have no drama. This fight was supposed to happen a little while ago, and unfortunately the Queen died, which was quite a big thing over in the UK for a lot of people, and they had to cancel sport and stuff for a mourning period. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Have a good night, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.